In 1831, Victor Hugo publishes his famous Notre Dame de Paris. But did you know that in Ukraine we also have a novel where the main character is not a human being but a cathedral? If you want to learn more about it, stay tuned and I'll tell you in a moment. Hello and welcome to our 5 minutes with Ekaterina Ukrainian literature. Today we are talking about Oles Honchar and his famous novel The Cathedral. Oles Honchar, whose real name was Alexander Terentievich Honchar, was raised in Poltava region, and this is the region with the most etalon, the best Ukrainian language without any kind of mixes. It is the central part of Ukraine, so there you can hear how the Ukrainian language should sound. And he was raised in the village in this Ukrainian speaking environment, listening to the Ukrainian songs, learning Ukrainian language at school. And he was immersed into this Ukrainian culture, and starting from the early years when he was at school and then at the technical school, he decided that his future will be connected with the written word. His plans were interrupted by the Second World War, and he went to the front line where he was immediately captured, but he escaped from the imprisonment and continued his fighting on the frontier of the Second World War. He starts to write two of his greatest novels. Actually, he is writing a lot, and if you look at the list of his pieces, of his novels and poetry, actually he also has a poetry collection dedicated to the war. But exactly at this time he starts two of his main works. The first one is called The Flag Bearers, about the wartime, and the second one, The Cathedral. The novel was published in 1968 and was immediately forbidden, which is quite strange nowadays, because when you are reading it, you're actually reading the everyday situation. You're reading about a small village and a bigger village, and in this bigger village they have a cathedral and a plant situated nearby, and the plant is the symbol of this fast civilization which is coming, and it pollutes the air, but it also gives people the workplaces and everything industrial fast happening there. And the cathedral in this village, it didn't have a priest, and it was kind of abandoned. It was old, but on it there was a small tablet with a sign that it's the architecture monument and you cannot destroy it. The war to protect this cathedral of these traditional values and the pushing of destroying the cathedral from these industrial magnates, it is the central theme of the novel, of the whole novel. Let's read together the part of the description of this novel, just to understand a little bit why it was forbidden. У творчості видатного українського письменника Олеся Гончара, чиє ім'я шанується в усьому світі, роман «Собор» посідає особливе місце. Прийшовши до читачів наприкінці 60-х, твір одразу ж опинився у вирі пристрастей, бо саме в ньому, чи не вперше у вітчизняній літературі, могутньо і неприховане прозвучав заклик до духовного очищення і соборності, осуд національного безпам'ятства, звироднілого кар'єризму і браконьєрства. Офіційні кола сприйняли «Собор» різко негативно, адже роман, відкидаючи догматизм класових уявлень, утверджував загальнолюдські гуманістичні цінності. Після організованих тоталітарним режимом лютих цькувань Собору твір було вилучено з бібліотек, книгарень та видавничих планів на довгі 20 років. From the 1968 till the 1992, the novel was forbidden. And let's read one of the parts of this cathedral novel itself. This part is considered as one of the best written pieces, not poetical pieces, but it's sometimes called the poetry in prose. And as a child or as a teenager, when we learn it within the school program, we had to learn it by heart. So it is one of the pieces of literature which actually I can quote, but I wouldn't try. I want to be precise. Maybe I forgot something, but these two paragraphs, there was a time when I can quote it without any hesitations. So let's check if I remember everything correctly. Навколо вирують пристрасті, ламаються списи в щоденних баталіях, що їх ведуть будівничі з браконьєрами. А він стоїть, думає свою одвічну думу. Про що вона? Все тут проходило перед ним, як перед свідком і перед суддею. Ще, здається, недавно рипіли гарби повз нього снопами. Клекотіла революція на цьому майдані Соборному. Дзвони калатали на сполох, кликали на сходки, на пожежі, то радісно, то тривожно будили передмістя, б'ючи пудовими язиками свою литу з домішкою срібла мідь. Поглядом болю і туги востаннє дивилися на нього розширені очі дівчат-полонянок, коли їх тисячами гнали мимо собору в Німеччину. Ридання чув і крики надій, і залізні гуркоти війни, і її, ще страшнішу тишу. Тепер велосипеди нічних змін нечутно обтікають його щодня і щоночі. Він бачить і бачив усе. Ярмарки вирували круг нього, яскраво гомоніли, бурунили, буйно сміялись червоним, сивіли шапками, саньми красувались в різьблених оздобах. Чи так уже воно й вищезло усе? Чи береже він у собі відгомін життя невмирущого, михтіння списів запорозьких, різноголосся ярмаркового люду, жарти циганські, чвари прасолів, іржання коней, продано ображених, лоскітний сміх шинкарок щасливих, нічні шепоти закоханих, зоряні обійми і зачаття? Повен всього. Темрявою ночі окутаний, зірок дістає шоломами своїх бань крутолобих. А сталь у печах клекоче, і коли плавку дають, шлак за Дніпром виливають, і все небо виповнюється загравною повінню, так що вершечки садків висвітяться карбованом, видні до кожного листочка, в такий час от світла заводів враз вирине з темрями ночі і собор. І доки багряніє, дихає небо по всьому над Дніпров'ю, стоїть серед заводського селища весь освітлений, парусно повний і чистий, як тоді у минувщині, коли вперше тут виник, вичарувався з душі своїх мудрих і дужих майстрів. You probably have noticed that in this piece there was mentioning of the Parisian Cossacks, and it's not accidental. First of all, on these lands, on the territory of Dnieper region, there was the biggest concentration of Zaporizhian sieges. We had 5 out of 7 Zaporizhian sieges ever existed in the history of Ukraine. And moreover, the cathedral, or as we think the prototype of the cathedral, is a real building which you can still find here in the neighboring city called Novomoskovsk. And it was built, according to the legend, without any iron or any kind of nail. It was totally wooden, and now it's restored. Of course, now you can see the nails, but according to the story, it was built in the middle of the 18th century. In 1778 by Яким Pogrebnyak, who was originally from the Kharkiv region, where again, if you remember, Олесь Гончар started to study in the university. It is a unique building. At the times of Олесь Гончар it was abandoned, but now it's functioning as a church. So if you visit, you even can attend an Orthodox service in there. And exactly as we believe, exactly this building is described there. And starting from this 18th century, the cathedral saw all these events, and he is still staying there, looking probably at the new revolution, the new technological revolution, internet, and our communication via the screen. Maybe there would be a continuation of the story later, but Going back to the Cathedral novel, it is significant not only with this cathedral description and with this controversy of the industrial plant, of the globalization, fastening of all processes, and this spirit fortress which is abandoned and almost gone, but is trying to, as the bird phoenix is trying to get from the ashes, and is trying to remind people that there are something else, not only these earth values, but something bigger and better. Also, the novel has different lines about the life of the people, about the life of workers, about life of yesterday's villagers who now are working there. It also describes the situation when the villagers didn't have passports and what to do if you don't have passport. Spoiling a little bit, you were not a human being, and it was actually an open criticizing of the Soviet power, and they will start give the passports only in late 60s, after the novel was published. Firstly published, and after the novel was obviously forbidden. And also it is the other line is the love line between a worker and a villager girl, and about these processes, how to live if you're a woman in this globalized world, and about the self-positioning within all these times of changing and these times of reconstruction after the Second World War within the frames of this industrial Soviet socialistic country. I advise you to read the novel. It's a little bit longer, but at least it will be worth it to read it, even if it's shortened. And if you want to learn Ukrainian language, it will be good, because it is based on this Poltava dialect, which is very pure, a very good classic standard Ukrainian. And if not, just I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please write me a comment. What is your idea? Did you like these words? Do you have some other examples of the novels dedicated to some building or to some natural mountain, for example, river, or anything geographical? I'm always excited to read your comments. The comment box is right for this reason. Also, if you can, please consider supporting me on Patreon. That's how I can improve the videos and create more of them. And if you can't, just put the like down there, subscribe for the channel. It will help a lot too. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to meet you very soon. Goodbye for now.